Hey guys, so we're here in beautiful Denver, Colorado. We just got done climbing up this mountain to give this awesome view to you guys. Guys, we're out here today to go ahead and do a video with Swampfox. We're gonna be doing a video on how to pick the best optic for your AR-15. But first, we're gonna have to climb down this mountain now. Hey guys, it's Aaron Jolly here from Rainier Arms. I'm here with Miles from Swampfox. We just got down off the top of that mountain. Miles, what are we here to do?
Today we're here to talk about some awesome points on what optic to choose for your AR and what use case you're using it for.
The very first thing we want to go ahead and talk about is red dots. Why you would want to choose a red dot over another optic. So right here we've got this on a 10.5 inch AR-15. And then we've got the Swampfox Liberator 2, right?
Yes, sir. This is the Liberator 2. So this is our standard dot sight for AR, 1913 base, T2 base for the optic, and comes with the low and high mount out of the box, so it's a little bit more versatile to work with. We really like to work with these guys for these kind of shorties because they are very versatile, very lightweight, easy to use. A lot of benefits that get to come with this kind of application, so yeah, it's a good start, especially for beginner shooters.
Yeah, guys, if you've got an AR build or an AR-15 and you're running, a shorter barrel on it, 10.5 inch, 12.5 inch, you want to look at maybe going more towards a red dot. The reason why is because those size rifles, you're going to be doing more, close quarter stuff, moving around buildings, stuff like that, doing more CQB stuff. With a red dot, unlimited eye relief. You don't have to worry about that.
Correct.
Ballistically, I mean, you're not really reaching out over 100 yards with these 10.5 inch builds. You're more close quarter combat type stuff, right?
Right. When it comes to picking an optic, really one of the biggest questions you have to ask is, how far out do I want to go? Yeah. That's a big thing. So for dot sights, obviously, these guys are a true 1X. And in this guy specifically is a 2 MOA dot. So that's going to be 2 inches on your target at 100 yards. So pretty simple, pretty easy to work with. But if you're trying to get some distance, that's where it gets a little bit more complicated and you have to make some extra choices.
Right.
But on these shorties, usually what people are looking for is something very lightweight, something you can move with, especially if you're using it for home defense. It's a really great option because this guy's really not going to get in your way. And like you said, unlimited eye relief.
Yes.
So the positioning of this optic anywhere on your pick rail, it's good to go. So whatever's flexible for you, whatever works best for the positioning, this guy is going to be the most versatile for you because your face can be back here, up here, up here. Really doesn't matter. Either way, you're going to be able to find your dot. So that is a major benefit. I would say one of the things if we're talking about a con for dot sights, because obviously for every optic you're going to run into, you're going to get your positives and you're going to get your negatives. A negative that I would put on the dot sight is if you have astigmatism. So astigmatism is a real thing that people don't really think about every day. It's very common. But basically, if you're looking through one of these dot sights and you're seeing a starburst, you're not seeing a true dot, that's because of your eye, and that's the way that your eye is actually shaped. Nothing you can do to fix it, unfortunately. So for these guys like these where you're actually working off of an emitter and it's not an etched reticle, that is going to be a downside that you're going to run into on this guy. So something to think about when you're making your choices. If you have poor eyesight, a dot sight wouldn't be the first one that I would choose to go with.
Right, right. Another thing, guys, red dots are great for beginner shooters. It's pretty easy. Put the dot on the target, pull the trigger.
Point and shoot. It's same with pistol dots as well. People tend to overcomplicate it. They're wondering about co-witness levels with their iron sights. It's easy to kind of think too much about it, but wherever, as long as it's zeroed, wherever your dot is, that's where your target's going to be. So that's the main point that people work with. If you're maintaining within a 25-yard range, this guy's going to keep everything safe and simple for you.
Definitely, man. All right, guys, so the very next optic that we want to go over is going to be a prism optic. So the thing that I love about these prisms is you have pretty much an open, wide field of view.
Sure.
Right? So I could take this, it's a set magnification.
Correct.
And I can stretch it out, 200, 300 yards, but at the same time, shooting something that's 15 yards away, not that difficult. Right?
Yeah, and that has to do with magnification. So what we're talking about here, this is our Tri-Hawk 3X prism. So it's fixed at a 3X magnification, which is, in my mind, one of the most versatile magnifications you can actually pick up on, because you can go up to 200-300 yards on this guy, no problem. But like you said, close quarters, you're really just getting a more rapid target acquisition at that point, because you're just getting more close in on your target. So it's actually a great benefit. Prisms are probably the thing that people come up with the most questions. The most unknowns are around the prism. So basically the way to see it is that the way that these guys work, they're larger body optics because there's a lot more glass going on inside these guys. They're at that fixed magnification, and there's nothing really you can do to adjust that. So you can't put a magnifier on these guys because it's actually going to warp your view. So they are fixed the way that they are. That's the only way you can see through them, and they have a more fixed eye relief. So it's not nearly as forgiving as with the red dot where it's unlimited eye relief. You really have to be able to fix yourself into a certain position with prisms. So on the plus side of that though, like you said, the field of view is the major benefit. So this guy specifically gets a 10-degree field of view. So that's 52 feet of actual width that you're going to see at 100 yards, which is pretty hard to beat. When it comes to optics, this is the major benefit to that. Yeah,
this optic right here is what you want to look at. If you've got a 16-inch rifle, 14.5, something like that, this is a great addition to throw on as far as your optics go. Now, this rifle in particular, it's also got paired with an offset red dot.
Correct.
Which is perfect, right? Because now you can have the best of both worlds. You're not adding a bunch of weight like you get into with an LPVO. However, you're still going to have that unlimited eye relief, everything like that, just by canting your rifle 45 degrees.
Exactly right. So I mean, in comparison to the LPVO, the prism sight is about, I would say, 25% lighter, 25 to 50% lighter, depending on what you're using. But like you said, you can get more versatility by having your offset DOF sight, which a lot of people like to work with. You get your 1X and you get your 3X, you're good to go. And for most people, they're not going to be going out further than 300 yards. So this guy's kind of a one and done setup to give you everything you need for close quarters up to some distance. So that's a really good benefit as well. The last thing I want to touch up on these guys is a major positive is the etched reticle. So we were talking about astigmatism with the dot sights, where that's a major downside. The etched reticle is nice and clean and fixed, so if you have poor eyesight, you can pick that up. And also, if you actually run out of battery on your optic, you're not keeping up, you still have that etched reticle as a backup. So it's good to go pretty much day or night for you guys. So that is a major benefit as well. And they come with a fixed built-in mount as well. So that's, makes it easier for, when you're actually trying to mount these guys up. You're basically one and done, good to go, straight to the pick rail.
Yeah, man, these things are a great addition, guys, especially for beginner shooters. They're very easy to learn and pick up on and how to do. The only thing that I would say is the downside is that eye relief.
The eye relief, you have to be able to fix yourself into the same position repeatedly. So it does take some practice, and it takes proper positioning. Certain builds, certain AR setups, if you can't fix your prism to the rear, you're going to have problems with getting that eye relief in. But if you can set it up ideally in the ideal situation, then you're good to go. The magnification that you get, the field of view, the etched reticle, all the benefits into a nice compressed package, and they're nice and durable too because they got that heavy body on them.
100%. Guys, next up, we're going to go ahead and talk about the LPVO.
Yeah, so the LPVO is no doubt the king of versatility in the optic world. It's going to give you a little bit of everything, the best of all worlds, but it's going to be pro-con on pretty much every part of that list. So we can go over those talking points now. This right here is the arrowhead. It is the 1 to 10x. So this guy goes all the way up to 10x magnification, which means if you're really trying to go out far, depends on your skill level, of course, but you can get quite a bit of distance on 10x. Yeah,
even guys, as far as when you're reaching out, it also boils down to target identification and everything like that too, right? So if you see something, maybe you're out hunting right now, right? This would be a nice hunting setup with a 16-inch barrel. If you're out hunting, you guys want to bring it in, see, man, is that something that I see moving way out there? You can bring that in, track that target, and see what's going on, what's happening.
Even bringing in hunters, if you're trying to make a humane shot, it's really important that you get up close as possible as you can. So this really gives you that versatility where even if you're a little bit closer up for your hunting, you're 200, 300 yards, even hitting up to that 10x, you can get honed into your target. So that is a major benefit.
Yeah. And the nice thing too, guys, is even at that 1 power, right, you're able to have more of like a red dot. Now, the downside to that is you still have that eye relief to worry about.
Sure, so that's where, you know, a little pro, a little con comes into play with the Arrowhead and with LPVOs.
Yep.
So when it comes to eye relief, it's not as strict as a Prism, but it's not unlimited like a red dot. So you do have a more strict zone, and the higher up the magnification goes, the tighter your eye box is going to be. So eye box is the location of which your head is going to be within range of being able to see through the optic. So that is super important, but on the 1X, it is very similar to a dot sight where it is a true 1X, and you actually get to work with an etched reticle on an LPVO, which again, for all those people with poor eyesight, is a great benefit of having that etched reticle. But it's a little here, a little there. You do have to practice with it. You have to understand where your head needs to be proned to be able to fit in, and especially when you're cranking up to the high magnification, the more precise it is, the farther out it is, the tighter your window is going to be.
Yeah, I will tell you guys a little trick, a little tip that I learned pretty quick was if you guys wear a hat, if you set this optic right on that bill of that cap, chances are you're going to be right in that window for your eye relief. So
all about muscle memory, all about muscle memory, absolutely. So yeah, this guy's got a little bit of everything. You can make your proper adjustments. It is heavier than a Prism, so you're gonna get about 25 weight addition, but it's not a fixed magnification, so you get that flexibility and versatility. So you can run from plinking targets at 15 yards, go head up and go ahead and take a long range shot, all within the same optic, all within seconds. So that is a major benefit for these guys.
Yeah, if you guys are ever running any sporting or anything like that, running 3-gun, these optics come in phenomenally, right? Because you can take and go 1 power or 2 power shooting stuff up close and then crank that thing all the way to 10 and take those 500-600 yard shots immediately following.
Absolutely. All right, Aaron, we went over some basic talking points today on what optics to pick for your AR. If you guys have any additional questions, we want to get into a little bit more information, please feel free to reach out to us here at Swampfox Optics. We're happy to help you guys out any way we can. And also definitely feel free to reach out to Rainier Arms as well for that.
Yeah, guys, for sure. Come into any of our locations, get with us, add a comment down there if you guys have any questions for sure. Don't forget to go ahead and like this video, guys. But hey, most important, no matter what optic you guys choose to go with, no matter what you do, right? The biggest thing is make sure that you learn how to shoot with it and train with it.
Practice makes perfect, guys. Some are easier than others, but at the end of the day, you have to get used to your build. It's all about personal preference and all about what works for you. That is the most important point.
All right, well, guys, I'm gonna let you go. We're gonna go have some fun out in the mountains.
Let's get to shooting.